My name is Hadrien and I'm one of the founders of a project called Champignon de Bruxelles. We are mushroom farmers in the center of Brussels, and what we do, or what we tend to do, is we produce mushroom from organic waste. The idea is really to produce fresh fruit directly in the city and to use all the resources that we have in the city as a middle to grow this. So right now we produce shiitake mushrooms. It's a mushroom that is very known for its medicinal values and all these benefits. But it's usually produced in Asia, now more and more in Europe, but not yet in Belgium. And the idea is to bring this mushroom to the market and produce it right here in the center of Brussels. That's pretty much the idea of the project.
What is farming to you? What is your definition of farming?
It's strange because at first I wasn't really destined to be a farmer, and it's still, for me, it still sounds strange when I call myself a farmer. But I really felt like a farmer once we went to a sloth food movement in Milan, and we were all these young farmers, and we had this speech about what really farming is today and why is it so important. And then I really felt like, okay, maybe I am a farmer, and it was a pretty cool feeling. So farming for me is today it's really an act for the future, I think, when you're a bio farmer in the city, because farming has really become really poisoned by all the machines, by the chemicals that we use. We are really distant to the food. We are not connected anymore, and we don't know what we eat. What we eat has no taste anymore, and so cultivating today producing is really an act of changing a little bit, of changing our future, I think.
And why did you start farming, or why you said you don't feel like a farmer?
Yeah, because I'm an economist. I've never worked as an economist, but I studied economics, and then I started directly doing the project. I was interested in during my studies in circular economy, reusing waste, and all these kind of things, social economy, a little bit, everything like that. So my first link to the farming business was something that I read, and that was called the blue economy, in which they talked about reusing waste by producing mushroom. And that was what I found really cool, and that's why I wanted to start producing mushrooms. It wasn't really for the farming itself in the beginning, but more for the act of reusing waste. But then, in the end, I understood that just the fact of producing something in the city, something bio, even though you're not reusing waste, it's already something super cool, I think.
And as this is, the 12 steps to becoming a vertical farmer.
Yeah.
You told me you don't see mushrooms as vertical farming. However, you see it as vertical farming now, and how do you perceive vertical farming in a way?
Actually, I don't feel as a vertical farmer now because we produce in caves, in basements in Brussels, which have a pretty low ceiling, so we cannot go super high. But the truth is that I think mushrooms are a great product to be produced with vertical farming, because we don't need soil the way we produce them. So we already put them on shelves, but the shelves are not super high, but they could be much higher. And actually, at some point in the project, we were looking for another location. We are moving now, and we were interested in one location that was pretty expensive actually, but that had a really high ceiling. And we thought, okay, maybe we could do vertical farming with super high shelves and then rotative stuff. But then we found something much cheaper with the low ceiling, so we could completely change our mind. But I think that could be done for sure.
The next question is actually already something you said. What do you know about circular economy, blue economy, and do you apply it? I guess that's a yes.
Yeah, that's a yes. That was a bit the philosophy behind the project. Is to try to do the best we can to reuse waste, and to create as least possible waste as we can.
Something I try to do is avoid the term waste. Do you guys also try to avoid it? Like, say there's no waste, there's
Yeah, the waste we have still is the plastic from the mushroom bag. So far we haven't found it's a recyclable plastic, but we haven't found any other way to do it. Nobody has found
I've
it.
talked to Jan from Sacco too about this, and he's like, yeah, it's not easy to have a recyclable or biodegradable.
No, the problem is that otherwise the mushroom would eat it, and so
Maybe that's the solution.
yeah, but I think it's difficult. But we'll be super glad that somebody finds the answer someday. I'm not sure we will, but maybe we or somebody else.
A way to reuse the plastic.
Yeah, that would be really good, because here in Brussels we called a lot of people to try to do something with the plastic, but so far we've got no answer. We know it's recyclable, but it's not recycled. All the different things are recycled. The substrate that we use, we give it to local farms here in Brussels, and they use it for the soil. They spread it over the soil, and they also do some. One farm in Brussels, they dip the substrate for 10 hours in water, so it can produce again once more in their farm. They can sell the mushrooms, and so that's the only waste we have. It's the plastic, which is still a bit sad, but I don't know, no solution yet.
Right, you already touched a little bit upon the subject, but can you tell me more about your background and your experience in farming, and what experiences have helped you, which ones didn't help you?
Yeah, my background, so I studied economics. I've got no experience at all with farming. No, actually it's not totally true, because actually I did a bit of farming when I was in Australia. After school I went 1 year there, and I worked in farms a little bit for like 3 months. But it so far had that, so far before that, I just totally forgot about it. But no, I was born in the city here in Brussels, so I'm not really a farmer. There's no farmers in my family, and so it's really something that wasn't really. I don't know. I never thought of being a farmer, but then we had this cool idea, and I thought, okay, let's do it. And
What was the first thing you had to learn when you started farming?
well, it's to grow mushrooms, because at first we had no idea how to grow these mushrooms, and we just started buying substrates from Holland, and we put them on shelves. We started at first in my grandmother's place in the caves, in the basements, and it worked, but it didn't work well. And then we rented a small office, and we put shelves, and we started growing the mushrooms, but with no control at all. And so it was full of contamination. After one week, everything was green, and it was really a mess. But that's how we started.
What was your very first product? How did it feel to sell the first mushrooms? Or was that actually your first product?
Yeah, the first product we had was the mushroom, and we sold it to a restaurant, and it was the restaurant of a friend of us. Yeah, it was pretty cool to sell the first mushroom. I thought it was a really small quantity, but I don't know. It was a good feeling. It was a good feeling.
And what happened after you started? What were the first main challenges you encountered? Which one did you learn most from?
Yeah, it's so many. I think the growing itself it's really complicated. I think the mushroom business is quite difficult, especially if you want to do everything on your own. If you want to do everything yourself, I think you have to, yeah, you have to learn the procedure to do everything right. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So that was hard. Also, having a business is quite hard. At first, I mean, you need to learn everything. Even though I learned economics, I started all over again, because I didn't know what to do for financing everything. So I don't know. We learned so much from everything, and you also learn a lot about yourself. I think through all the project, because it's quite a difficult task. I think to launch a project, but it's a lot of. You need to see it as something that you will learn a lot, and that it will be difficult, but its difficulty makes you learn something. So you need to see it like that. Otherwise, you just want to stop. But if you see it like that, it's really rewarding, I think.
It's rewarding. It's kind of challenging. It's fun. Is that what keeps you going in the most difficult moments? Or?
Yeah, and also the fact that the project, I think we got, the project is going well. We got good things that are coming. And so we know we are on the right track. So we know we need to keep going, and also because it's what I like to do. To launch a project is really something. I didn't really plan to do it. I was looking for work for a normal job, but I wanted something that had, I don't know. A certain value to the society, but it was so hard to find something that I really liked. So I thought, okay, let's keep this, and I'm going to try something on my own, and in the end, it's really what I like to do, and I think it's.
Would you say you followed your heart, which is going to be cheesy?
Yeah, totally. It was difficult because I didn't hear it in the beginning. I didn't know what I had to do. I was, it's very tough, I think, for somebody coming out of the studies to know what he wants to do, and you're looking for a job. I really hated that moment. I felt so bad because you need to send your resume to everybody, and they're reading and they're saying no. There's 300 people, and you're like, okay, then I'm gonna try again. I don't know. I really hated it. And then, and then also, there was nothing that I really found. Wow, this is amazing. So I was always a bit, So yeah, I think in a sense, it was telling me that I needed to do something on my own. But at first, it took me a little while to.
It takes balls, man, to follow that field.
Yeah, but at first, for me, it wasn't. I hated that time. So in the end, I had to do something. So I really had to get out of this time I really didn't like it. So for me, it didn't take balls. It's just that I had to do something because I wasn't happy sending my resumes and stuff. So yeah.
What are the plans, or your plans, or the Champignon de Bruxelles plans for the near future and
Yeah.
far future?
Yeah, the near future we had we just created our cooperative. That's also something exciting. All the governance surrounding the project, because we like this project to be as democratic as possible. So we don't really want to keep this project for ourselves. We want to open it and I think it would be really beneficial to the project. And so we created this cooperative. We have people investing in it, so that's really exciting because we need money to grow a little bit.
Can I invest too?
Yes, you can, of course.
It's not on the website. Was that?
No, the website is down, and it's coming up next week actually. And we haven't really started going to people and asking for investment and stuff.
But you will put it on Facebook probably.
We opened the Facebook, but we haven't really launched communication around it because we had to still work on the status of the cooperative a little bit. So now it's fixed, so we can go for it.
You should use the song, by the way. It's one of my favorite songs.
Which one?
Champignon de Bruxelles, Pang.
Yeah. It was a really cool moment.
How long ago was that, by the way?
It was really at the beginning because in the song they're still talking about growing mushrooms from coffee waste, and actually today we grow these mushrooms not from coffee waste but from beer brewing waste. So we totally changed the thing, but too bad because the song is still really cool.
The crops you are growing, what is it? And how did you choose your crops?
Yeah, so we're growing mushrooms. So far we're growing only shiitake mushrooms, but the aim of the project is to grow exotic mushrooms. Why exotic mushrooms? Because we want to bring to the Belgian market mushrooms that really have something special, that they have a medicinal value or a really good taste, everything that you don't see today. Because if we're producing mushroom from Paris, for example, we would be competing with a super big industrial and we would fail totally. So it's in a way a choice because it's really cool to bring something new that is because there are tons of mushrooms and we eat only 3 of them, and they all have really interesting things, each of them for the public, I think. Because for example the shiitake mushrooms, it's very good for it's really used in Japanese medicine. They use it to treat cancer. It has a really good it gives a big boost to the immune system. So it's really known in Asia, but here we don't really care about it. And there are plenty of other mushrooms that taste really well and that have really powerful nutritive values.
I'm not a mushroom expert, I just love them. But I also heard sometimes that a mushroom takes up on what substrate it grows on.
Yeah.
And is it possible to make mushrooms less healthy or more healthy depending on the substrate?
Probably. That's studies we haven't really done so far. We need to do it. We need to do them to see how healthy are mushrooms. It's all from bio sources and stuff, so it should be good. But but so far we just hope it's good. But yeah, probably. But that's difficult to do. But we need to do these studies someday.
What are the criteria you have to work with when you choose your crop, aim what to grow and choose what to grow?
First, we need to see. I mean, we're looking at the market a little bit first. I think because we're both sides actually. We we think that we believe that we can introduce a mushroom that is not known in Belgium, if this mushroom has a real value. Because I think people are really open to taste something else. They're really open to good products and stuff. So we really think that if we come with a good product, they will buy it. But we need to see if the product tastes good first, because if it doesn't taste good, then we're not going to sell them. If it's good for the health, and if we feel that people will buy it, that it's not too weird probably for them, because there are tons of mushrooms and some are really weird, and I think we will do them someday, but so far we try to stay with the mushrooms that we think people will actually buy them.
Your most important income stream, is it completely from mushrooms or?
Yeah.
It's only
Today it comes only from mushrooms, because we sell fresh mushrooms. That's what we do. We just launched a kit. We had to redesign it completely, that it look a little bit better, and it will come again in December for the holidays. And we have also dry mushrooms, which we sell, but that's basically because it's very good for us for our production. When we have too high production in 1 week, we can dry them and we can store them for two years. So it's just perfect.
you have your own tapenade.
Yeah, we already did it, but we are not selling it yet. We will sell the first in October, and then there's a second one that's coming in January. So far we have these products, and the aim is to do more mushrooms, different types, different kits, and then more transformation.
And your business model is direct sales, all of it, or you sell directly to the consumer? Or
No, we so far we sell nothing to the consumer. We sell everything to shops in Brussels, bio shops. For example, right now we're located right under the biggest bio shop in Brussels, so it's very easy. We just go upstairs and we give it to them and they sell it for us. But we have our new website, and we will be able to sell not fresh mushrooms, but the kits and the dry mushrooms directly to the consumers.
do you have a specific business strategy?
We want to be a bit bigger now. That's why we're moving to a much bigger place. We're doing a really big mushroom farm, but we don't want to be huge. At some point we will stop growing, but we will, in terms of size, I mean. But what we want to do is we want to keep innovating all the time, and that's why we need to bring more people with ideas in the project. Yeah, I'd like to bring new products that really have both a value for the people who eat it, but also for the environment and stuff. And I think there are so many people today that wants to eat really good products that are fresh and bio and stuff. And so far you can find them, but it's still not enough. So yeah, I think we can do more.
The next question is kind of weird, but I ask it to everybody, just for an introduction to the question thereafter. Do you do accounting yourself?
No. I do the accounting for the project, but what I do is that I create the invoice, I send them to my clients, I pay the bills, and then I put that everywhere in a, what do you say that? Sorry? Yes, and I give it to the accountant.
So you outsource. Are there other things you outsource or just accounting?
Yeah, deliveries sometimes we outsource. We have a company called Dioxide de Gambette in Brussels, which they are cyclists who do deliveries. We do that with them. A part of our production is outsourced now, because we're too small to do everything on our own. But soon it will be everything made in Brussels.
You said in the beginning you didn't have climate control, but now you have climate control.
Yeah.
How do you use it, and how do you?
Yeah. Now what we have is really bad climate control.
What does it mean, bad?
That means we don't control much. We are in basement, so we control a little bit the temperature, but we control humidity and we control the air. But that's basically it. So the new farm will be much more controlled. We'll have a much better system.
What systems are you going to use? Are you going to like do a Priva system, or I don't know?
Priva system?
Priva is a company that does building climate control.
No. We outsource that. We'll have control done by a company who are creating. They will basically put sensors with a Raspberry Pi and a bit of Arduino. So everything is open source, but we are not good with that, so we had to outsource it. But we want it to be open because then we can share it. That's the first thing. And secondly, we can always, if someday somebody in our team knows how to control it, then we can keep this intern.
And it's a company in Brussels that.
Yeah, it's a company in Brussels.
What's the name?
Make it.
Yeah. They are specialized in climate control, or more in Arduino systems?
They are specialized in Arduino, Raspberry Pis and stuff, and they're really interested in the climate control because they think that they will have a lot of clients in the future. So I think we are the first ones, but I think it's good for them as well because I think there are lots of new projects that will need the same things. So I think it's pretty cool.
The technologies you use at the moment, are they expensive, and the ones you're gonna have in the abattoir project?
No. So the technologies that we use is non-expensive at all because it's basically free almost, because our humidifier cost €100. We got no air conditioning and we have a ventilator. No, it's not a ventilator, but that's probably €200. It's worth nothing so far.
You made it yourself, or?
Yeah, we created everything ourselves. But the production now it's working. It's working quite well, but it could work much better if we had a better control. That's why we are moving. And over there we'll have a good control, but it's still not. I mean, you can do really well with few investments. I think we'll have reasonably big investments there because the farm will be big, but per small things it will be quite reasonable, very reasonable.
Did you try a couple of different technologies, or you just went with the first one?
We wanted the idea of having something open source that's work with. I like the idea of working with Raspberry Pi, Arduino and stuff, and that's why we ordered that.
So you researched more on the internet and then you took.
Yeah, the other guy Thibault researched a little bit, but I don't know. We had a good feeling with this, and we just went for it.
Okay.
Yeah, but we've got for air how do you say, the renewing of the air and stuff. We got an engineer working on that. We got also architects who are working on all the structures. So we outsource a bit of things because we cannot do everything on our own. And we wanted to make it really professional this time.
What is special about your way of growing?
It's an exclusive way of growing, I think. So far, or the way we grow it with beer waste it's still quite small in all our production, because we don't have the space yet. But it will be the biggest part in the future. But I don't think anybody grows mushrooms on beer waste.
I think the plant in Chicago also uses their beer waste. They have a brewery and they use beer waste to grow oysters.
Oh yeah, they do? Okay, cool. I never heard it. I know there are tons of projects in the world where they grew oyster mushrooms on coffee waste. And we started with that actually, but then it wasn't working well with shiitakes, and we thought, okay, we need to find something really specific to Brussels, and we thought, okay, beers, we've got them everywhere. So we thought we were unique, but you're telling us we're not.
Ooh, I also have a friend. He's not in metabolic. It's in Amsterdam too, and they have a brewery, and they also growing mushrooms, but for building materials.
Oh really?
Yeah, they grow.
Oh, that's really cool.
It's called Media Lab, I think. Media Lab.
Media Lab.
Yeah. But it's just testing phase. We will test
Okay.
use brewery waste for isolation and stuff.
But I hope this succeeds because it would be a really cool innovation.
And then we can build more mushroom farms with those walls.
That would be amazing. Yeah.
Right. Let's take a break, huh?
Okay.